How do? Welcome to Liquid Football with myself, Tenacious G, and Yorkie Man. We've had quite a lot of things happen in over the football weekend, really. We'll start off with Manchester United, shall we? Somehow scraping a 1-0 win against West Bromwich Albion. Should it have been 1-0, Matt?
Do you know what? It was actually, West Brom were actually really good.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to be cautious when I watch. Man United play because it's easy as Sonny doesn't like Man United, obviously, as a Leeds fan, that to look at it unbiasedly and think, oh, West Brom had loads of chances they deserve. But they were in the game, that's for sure. I remember one chance, I can't remember who it fell to it, in the box, and I was like, how have you not scored that? But I don't know. I think it was a boring game. 1-0 is a little bit boring, and the goal scored by a penalty. But there seemed to be the most talking points in this one because I
because it's
like
Manchester United and a penalty.
Yeah. I felt West Brom should have had a penalty before Man United got theirs, and Man United got one. And people have been talking about should it have been a penalty. I don't think it was a penalty. Looking at penalties this year, I thought it was a penalty. Whether you want it to be or not,
his arms up here, and regardless whether he's looking at it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're harsh. I'm never going to change the stance on I don't like the handball rule, but based on this year, if you want consistency, it's a penalty, isn't it? And the problem is for me, it's the rules at the penalty. So I've always seen a penalty as a 50-50. The keeper's got a chance to save it. He's got 50% chance to save it, and the striker's got 50%, or whoever takes it, 50% chance to score it. But it's just not working that way anymore. If you can run up to the ball and do a stupid stutter step or a fancy run-up, but the goalkeeper can't come off his line while you're doing that, then it's an unfair penalty. Because Bruno's got all the time in the world to do this stupid jump, to make the goalkeeper jump, and then place it. And it's ridiculous. And this is probably why he's so successful with it. I don't think it should have been retaken. And I know a lot of fans are like, well, he was over the line. Well, what do you expect? Like, what are you expecting? If he can take this penalty in that manner, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be allowed to do that. All I'm saying is, if he can do that, then the keeper needs some leeway as well. You can't just be being able... You're giving advantage to the attacker. And
well, is that the idea they're wanting more goals, though, aren't they? The league's wanting more goals.
But it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No league should want more goals through moments like that.
No.
Because it's so much controversy. It doesn't make the ruling system look good. Which, let's be honest, this is probably the first year that the rules have looked this bad. I can't remember them ever being this bad.
And
the handball rule and the penalty rule is shocking. And unfortunately for Man United, they've probably been embroiled in the most controversy when it comes to penalties over the past couple of months since VAR's inception. Because I think they've had the most penalties given. And, they've had some interesting ones as well. The one that was after the game and blah, blah, blah. And which was a penalty. But it's still, I think, people who are out there now going, oh, Man United are cheating. But you're an idiot. Like, they're not, they're not cheating.
Manchester,
they're just getting lucky. And it's a fun joke. But I do think that it was a penalty going on what's happening in the league today, but he shouldn't be allowed to retake it. I think this rule to not be allowed to come off your line, but the players can do whatever kind of run-up they want, just don't think it's fair. I think you're penalising the goalkeeper. You're making it near enough impossible for the goalkeeper.
Do you not think that maybe the keeper in this occasion, he was quite far off his line compared to some decisions I've seen where they've been literally like that far over the line? Like, I'm talking millimetres over the line.
And this is, from my understanding, what keepers are taught. You taught to step forward.
Yeah.
And dive. You taught to step forward and dive. So Johnston looks like he's got a big step forward, to be fair to him. That's part of his game. Every keeper's different. But it's not like he took a run forward. He took a step forward. He just happened to have a big one. So, as a keeper, I think he might have even mentioned this in an interview. You taught to step forward to save the penalty. Now this rule's come in.
Everything you've
The
learned
past,
is out
past
window.
25 years of your goalkeeping, saving penalties, forget that now. That doesn't work anymore. And I think the problem is with Bruno, he makes you go. Now, you can still step forward. The rule is you can't step off your line. You can't step off your line before the ball's been kicked. So your timing's got to be impeccable. Because as a goalkeeper, you're still going to get the advantage by trying to step forward. So, no, not really. I think it looked like he was quite a ways off his line, but his step was so big. It's not like he'd taken, from my mindset, it's not like he'd taken 2 or 3 steps before and then dived. It looked like as soon as Bruno jumped, he took the step forward and come out of his goal. And I just think, I don't know. I just think it's a bit of a silly rule. I think.
Could I ask, has Bruno Fernandes been doing that run up all the time, or just since this happened?
No, I think he's been doing that the entire time.
I suppose you can't really put blame on Bruno if that's his run up.
No, I don't
practice.
put the blame on Bruno.
No, I'm just saying you can't. It's just rules and shit.
I don't think that they should stop players doing the run-ups that they want, because some of them are hilarious when Paul Pogba runs up, takes half an hour for his run-up, and then misses.
Simon Zaza, do you remember him in World Cup, I think it was?
When Adama Luckman tries to do a Panenka in the dying moments of the game. You know, I've got no issue with the run-up. My issue is it's not fair that he can do that run-up, and the goalkeeper is then penalised for going early, when the run-up is designed to make the goalkeeper go early. So then it makes the rule ridiculous. Because then it basically means, with the way that Bruno takes his penalty, it's got to go in.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to be retaken. Because the majority of goalkeepers will be off the line. So it basically means Bruno always scores his penalty.
And he gets like a second chance. You know what I mean?
Where he's going to do the same run-up.
Yeah.
Which he did. And he was off his line again, second time.
Yeah. I know.
So it's just...
Well, should have not. If he's off his line anyway, should have not retake it, or just because it's not?
No, because it's gone in.
Yeah,
not going to retake. But it's just a terrible rule.
Yeah, another bit of an issue with VAR that was, I say issue, was brought up. I think you're in agreement with me that this wasn't a penalty. Was our team Leeds drawing against Arsenal? It was when Liam Cooper's going to block a shot. I think he has blocked it, if I remember rightly, slightly. But as he's fallen down, his arms caught it. But it's a natural. But it's hit him on the elbow. But it's a natural falling sort of shape, isn't it? So a lot of people were complaining, saying that we should. You know, they were saying, ironically, if it was Manchester United, it would have been given.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue is people likened it to the penalty that Manchester United got. But the problem is with that is the guy stood up, turning from a cross, hits him in the arm. So it's not the same incident. It's just not even close to the same incident. I find it strange when people watch it back, and I feel like it's really one-sided, narrow-minded. That one, it deflects off Cooper's foot, and two, it hits the arm that he's using to break his fall.
Yeah.
So his arm's in a position that it's allowed to be in, and then the ball's hit him. And now I know when you say, "Oh, you turn in like that, it's ridiculous." I still agree that I think that's ridiculous, but it's a completely different incident. Liam Cooper, if he doesn't put his arm down, he's going to smash his face off the ground.
Exactly.
So it's completely different. I get why people are like, that's penalty as well, because at this day and age, if it touches your arm in the box, fans instantly think it's a penalty. It's just, and it's going to stay that way. But for me, it was never a penalty in a million years. If he can't put his arm down to break his fall, which I was always explained to me that if you put your arm down to break your fall, can't be a penalty because your arm's in a natural position. Yeah. So, I don't think it was a penalty. I feel like a lot of people, I saw a lot of stuff on, but football Twitter's absolutely disgusting.
It's a cesspit, isn't it?
It's awful, man.
An absolute cesspit.
If you want to laugh, go on football Twitter, but you can't take nothing seriously if you're going on there. If you take stuff seriously, football Twitter is not your place. But I saw tons of people. I saw Arsenal fans going, "How's this not a penalty?" I saw people posting, "This is exactly the same as the United game." And I'm thinking, I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know what you're looking at because it's not even close to being the same. Not even close.
Well, another thing that, just touching on that actually, because obviously Pepe got sent off after headbutting Alioski and Twitter being a cesspit, as we've just mentioned. police have had to get involved because of alleged racism from fans towards Pepe, I believe, probably from our lot, unfortunately, and Alioski and his family getting death threats from Arsenal's lot. Legends.
It's just disgraceful. It's a game of football.
Why? Why do people do it? I mean, and then they're wondering why they're saying kick it out and whatever else, and trying to,
Well, one thing that has to be stated to start off with, right, is if you're going to slag off any footballer, and your first go-to thing is race, then you're an absolute disgrace. Yeah, and I love that rhymes, because it's just absolute fucking bollocks. If that's what your powerful thing is to target someone, is the colour of their skin, and that's your one-up, that's what makes you better, then you're an idiot. You are an idiot, and you're a moron, and you're not the kind of person that we want watching football and going to football games. And I hope you get done for it. I hope anyone that's racist towards anyone, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's like going to school and saying, my dad's bigger than yours. It fucking means nothing. And judging someone just because of the way they look is pathetic. And the fact that we're still dealing with this in this day and age. 2020. Yeah. And I don't care if it's part of our fan base or not. They don't deserve to support the fucking club, because it's just absolutely disgraceful. It's just, that's the target. Someone does something you don't like, so my instant reaction is I'm going to go racist. And it's just what is the point in that? It's like the same with this crap with football. And I might not like Jack Grealish, but I don't go to a dead relative's grave and give him shit or try and punch him on a pitch. It's just pathetic. It's a game of football. You're taking life far too seriously. Yeah. Far too seriously. It was a silly sending off. I'm sure he'll learn from it. And I think he's going to be a brilliant player. And, Alioski wound
Pepe's going to be decent as well.
I think. Alioski wound him up. We see this all the time. Look at Diego Costa. Yeah. How many players he got sent off? Pepe was ridiculous for biting. You can't do that in football. But any kind of stick towards either, whether it be a death threat. Death threats are so stupid. Death threats are so idiotic. And I got this big thing with Twitter where you shouldn't be allowed an account unless it's verified by that it's you.
Well, I'm going to say that they've all got football player profile pictures, haven't they?
You shouldn't be allowed to make a
avatars.
Bot. You shouldn't be allowed to be a little keyboard snotty ass warrior sat behind your fucking keyboard who's got a shit life and you're jealous. So what you prefer to do is just rip the shit
and try and bring people down.
You don't even know. You just try and be an horrible cunt, and it's just don't like it. I hate it, and the fact that we've hit this day and age, and you see people committing suicide, and the abuse that people get, whether it be celebrities or sportsmen, and the fact that it's from people that sit behind a mouse and keyboard and they haven't even got the balls to say who it is. I just think it's pathetic. And I don't think that you should be allowed on these media platforms unless you're verified who you are. And then you'd stop all this shit because people would be too scared to put stuff like that.
The problem is, though, Matt, there will always be workarounds. People, they'll do whatever they can.
It's got to be harder for people. It's too easy. It's too easy to be a scumbag these days. Yeah. So people get less and less.
A lot of people do it for likes.
It's ridiculous, though.
That's it.
Social media does this, though. Social media means that people live their lives, whether it be, and we're in content, so but you live it on likes and clicks and follows and how popular you are and traction on shit, and it's just it's I hate it. It's disgusting. There's a lot of greatness in media and social media and the internet, but there's also a really terrible place. And unfortunately, there's a lot of horrible people out there that just get away with it freely. And I don't know. It just doesn't track with me. If you growing up the way I grew up, if you spoke anything like these people do on Twitter, you get smacked. And obviously you're just free to do what you want on that. I don't like it. I don't really like the way the world's going in that regard anyway. It's been turning that way for a long time. And I don't know. I think racism in football is more heightened, not on the terraces and on the pitch, but with these idiots that can hide behind profiles and make new ones and hide behind it and spam racism and spam, and it's a real problem. It's a real problem, and I don't like it. But it's not just racism, like you say with the death threats. It baffles me that people are able to send someone death threats.
Yeah,
and get away with
homophobic things as well, isn't there? That's happened as well.
You could talk about so many different things, whether it be race, homophobic, just you see people,
religion. Yeah, that's another kettle of fish.
Can't make a mistake anymore. Can't make a mistake anymore. And stuff does piss you off. Of course, it pisses you off. But we see, and I this one always, which is weird. I don't know why it touched me so much. But you see, like Caroline Flack, and she makes a mistake. Clearly makes a mistake. No one condones what she's done, and I'm sure she doesn't condone what she's done. It's been dealt with in court, but because it's so public, you can just receive such an amount of abuse. I just don't get why that's right. Just because she's done something wrong doesn't make it right for you to give her abuse. What gives you the right? What gives people a right to be able to give you personal abuse? You don't know her. You don't.
People do it because they can get away with it.
Her boyfriend now, you don't know whether she's going to counselling. You don't know whether her boyfriend's, forgiving her and helping her with the issue she's got and the pressure she's probably dealing with. You don't know any of that. You don't actually know her. You don't know the scenario. You don't know the situation. You know one thing that you've read, and you decide that means that she's a terrible human being. And every human makes mistakes, whether it be a big one, whether it be a violent one, whether it be a violent one that's a male on male or female on female. We all make mistakes, but we aren't judged on it the same as a celebrity is. And it's not fair. And footballers make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's all that it was with Pepe.
It just depends. It depends on the severity, obviously, because we're not going to condone Adam Johnson, are we? You know what I mean?
You're going out there murdering people, and you're going out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different. But again, you go to prison, you get your time.
Yeah.
There's no need for you to send someone a ton of abuse because they've murdered someone. They're going to go fucking rot in prison.
Yeah.
It's just that mindset of anyone who ever does anything wrong in sport. But you opened it up there to Adam Johnson. Well,
yeah.
If you think that, if people watching think that I think that I'm putting that down as a mistake that shouldn't be punished, you're not watching.
Best cover that base.
You're not watching the right podcast. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people in the spotlight that every now and again might not do something that is right, whether it be a celebrity having an affair or it's just as if because you're a celebrity, you can't do that. And I feel like one of the things
it's because of role models, isn't it? That's what they put it down to.
It doesn't matter. You're still a human being.
Yeah. I'm saying that's how they view it.
Pepe lost his cool, got himself sent off. Doesn't matter how Alioski went down. It doesn't matter.
If he didn't go down, he wouldn't have got sent off, would he? And that's what people would say.
Pepe knows he shouldn't do that. Arteta clearly, you could tell in the interview, Pepe knows he can't do that. You can't do that in football. You just can't do it. We all know you can't do it. As soon as you put his head to his head, you're off.
Game over.
But let the man fucking have his mistake. I'm sure he was punished enough in the locker room and punished himself in his own mind. Yeah. And to start giving someone abuse, especially racial abuse. And then you give the player who he got him sent off. Well, no, Pepe got himself sent off when he put his head to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Pepe got himself sent off. Alioski didn't get Pepe sent off. I don't get that.
Kieran Tierney were having a go at him as well, weren't they, at end of game?
Yeah.
And then they start comparison. Oh, he'd smack him because he's Scottish. And it's like, well, he'd smack him because he's a nutter from Macedonia. Some of it were quite funny, but even so, I mean, what's going on there again?
There's been this one thing that is really bad about football, and it's terrible because one of the best things about football is the passion. One of the worst things as well is the passion, though, because people just don't know when to leave it.
Yeah,
people don't know when after the final whistle to just leave it. But then it's hard. It's a hard one because on the other side of the coin, like the passion is such a huge part. how passionate you could be about players, about your club, about your team is really huge. But some people just take it. Unfortunately, quite a lot of people take it too far, and I feel like social media allows that. It's like a gateway to it. Like social media is such a gateway of hate because you could be hateful towards someone. I'm too lazy to be hateful towards someone. That's a bonus, but you could be hateful towards someone and there be no punishment,
no repercussions,
and what stops you? And we're all humans. What stops you from doing a lot of stuff is the consequences.
Yeah.
And when you take the consequences away, a lot of people don't. So you hear some stuff that's said that is really nasty because there's no consequence.
Yeah.
And I really don't like that. I was brought up.
Or like,
I'm sure you yourself, that there's a consequence for everything you do. It can be what you say. It can be, what you do physically, whether it be in a sport or be in anything, a consequence of not playing well, you get dropped next week. But
yeah, exactly.
I just feel like with that, there are no consequences for it, and that needs to get stricter.
I mean, the worst case scenario is they ban the account, they make a new one. It's simple as that. That's as straightforward as it is. Worst thing that can happen for them to say whatever they want to whoever they want is to get banned, create a new account, and do the same again next day. Some people get off on it. They get off on it, don't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, I think they do. Well, that's why you see we're in a world where we do Twitch and you get trolls.
Oh, yeah.
And people love it. People actually spend their day going into Twitch chats.
Usually groups or twos.
Just being a dick.
Yeah.
That's what... I don't get that. I mean, I've got better things to do with my time. I just think I don't know. It's really... It baffles me. I think I got lucky. I was probably coming towards the last end of generations that grew up the way that I grew up. Because mobile phones weren't really prominent until I was 14. They weren't proper. They were like a Nokia fucking
3310,
7210 or some
Snake
shit.
2.
Some shit. We played Snake on them. You couldn't send fucking pictures like that. If you were texting your mate, you were texting him with 10 pence credit.
Or the best thing you could do was create a chuffing ringtone.
Yeah, polyphonic ringtone.
That's the one, polyphonic.
So, I suppose I got a bit lucky in that sense, but we were always brought up where there's always consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
And I just, on social media now, there isn't enough of that. I think if you're racist to a player, that should be a permanent ban. You're not going to watch football again.
IP address it.
You want to be racist, you're not going to go watch football again.
Yeah.
You should. They should know who you are.
That's why they're saying they're working with the police. So I don't know if they can actually do what you're saying there.
They might be able to. I hope they can. And if you're sending death threats, that should be
100%. Yeah.
That should be a court case. There's no way you should be getting away with that. You're threatening someone's life, whether it's an empty threat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're threatening someone's life. There's got to be there's got to be something seriously done about that. And from my standpoint now, in this day and age, if you're racist to a player, that's a lifetime ban. You should never be allowed to watch football again in the stadiums.
I reckon it's probably more kids as well, as in between probably the ages of 14 and 18, 19.
Scary, though,
that is because that's the next generation.
If it's kids,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was more bothered when I was a kid about the local bird and me getting good at football. That's what I cared about growing up. That's all I cared about growing up was playing footy with my mates and girls. That's genuinely they were my main worries growing up. They were my main big issues in life was be all right at football so that when they watch us, I'm okay. And girls. And I was into other sports as well, but they were my main things. And wrestling,
that's
all I cared about. It's just weird now when I look at we've both got kids ourselves, but when you look at what the world is now to grow up in, feels really strange how different it was. Not that many years ago. It makes it sound like I'm really old, but it weren't that long ago that I grew up. So how much and how quickly it's all changed. Scary.
It changes your outlook, doesn't it, as well? Obviously, as you know, having kids, it completely changes your outlook and how you view things. Like you say, growing up.
What kind of kid? the thing I used to hate when I was a kid is when I got told off.
Yeah.
That's the hate I had. I didn't have any hate towards anyone. Didn't have any hate towards anything. Apart from when I didn't play well in football. Like I get angry, but I didn't hate people. I didn't hate things. I didn't hate a particular race, or I didn't really have an opinion. I didn't have an opinion about stuff like that. I didn't.
More
I don't
things
know.
to worry about.
Know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't. Even watching football growing up, I was devastated when Leeds got relegated, but I didn't hate anything. And Alan Smith went to Man United. Oh, what a knobhead! But I never thought,
I wish
do something bad to you. I didn't wish ill on anyone. I don't get, because that's a big emotion.
Yeah.
There's a big emotion to want to wish harm on someone. It really is. You could be angry at someone. You can be like, oh, what a fucking dickhead. Like, you can be angry at someone to wish unwell towards someone, to wish something bad upon someone. That's just a really
it's just
weird,
bad, isn't it?
Weird emotion that I can't understand how someone at 14 thinks that way.
It's funny you say that, because I do remember a few people back in there when Alan Smith broke his leg against Liverpool when that free kick struck him. I saw I heard some Leeds fans saying, "Good, I'm glad he's done it." Just because the hatred towards the fact that he went to Man United, and that's the thing. And I'm sure it happens in other clubs as well, in their fan bases.
It happens
but
everywhere.
It's just like because they're seen as a traitor. It was saying like when Cantona, a bit before probably your time from what you remember, but when he drop kicks that Crystal Palace fan and he got an 8-match ban, it should have been worse. And he used to be a hero of ours.
You know what's really weird with the Eric Cantona thing?
Yeah.
I viewed it differently for the first time about 3 months ago, as I was watching a documentary about black players.
Right.
And how hard it was. And actually players, probably secretly, applauded what he did.
Because of what he said. It was
first time he went, "Fuck no, can you speak to me like that?"
But no one's done it since, really, have they?
And kicked out. And
well, Eric Dyer.
What black players were saying is, thank God he was white. It was a black player that had been kicked out of the league, and that's scary in that thought. But at the same time, that's quite an impactful moment, because it probably put a little bit more fire behind people to say, no, fans can't say what they want on the sideline.
Guess I might get chinned.
There is still a level of being a human being.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You can't say what you want on the sideline. You can't call someone a disgusting name. You can't, you got fans on the sidelines saying really horrendous stuff about family members, about what country you come from, what your color of your skin. You can't do that. You can't. And I suppose him kicking out was probably one of the steps of someone standing up and going, "You can't speak to me like that." No one condones what he did.
No.
But it is one of those moments, and I never looked at it like that. I always looked at it as like, what the fuck's he doing?
Yeah. No,
I never looked at it as if like hang on a minute, he's right. You wouldn't speak to anyone else like that just because he's on the pitch.
No. Because I thought they were safe in a way, because they're behind that barrier. They thought they could get away with anything, a bit like an older time chuffing internet, if you like. But now, and things probably were a bit more. Well, things probably a bit more wrongfully accepted to be said back then. Obviously, it's changed. It has been changing for goodness how many years. I mean, that was 25 years ago, I think it was. So
I think fans are changing. Fans won't put up with as much.
Yeah.
Although there's definitely still a minority of fans like that.
And there always will be, I think.
There are less groups of fans that will tolerate you being an arsehole in the stands. I think there was I want to say it was a Chelsea fan. Or a group of Chelsea fans. Yeah, Dan, it was you.
It were you, Dan.
That was singing anti-Semitic songs.
Right.
When they played against Spurs.
It was Chelsea fans.
And Chelsea fans dobbed them in.
Yeah.
Chelsea fans dobbed them in. It was those guys there. Chelsea fans dobbed them in. And I think so you're seeing with fans that it's less accepted. I remember a lot as well. Where and I hate to harp on about it being Chelsea. These are just memories that I remember about the racism in Paris.
Mm.
And a lot of Chelsea fans were outraged then and spoke up.
Was
And
that at the
gave
train
names.
station?
That was
Was
on the
it?
train, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of Chelsea fans, then spoke out and gave names of people
Yeah.
that were doing wrong. It is nice that now some fans are speaking out and going, "This isn't right." And I hope that continues and just gets stronger and stronger, that the core group, because the majority of football fans are brilliant people. I've met some fantastic people through doing football content, and it doesn't matter what club they support because their passion's football, so you can connect. And the more and more fans that there are like that, the better, because football is such a wonderful sport. It brings a hell of a lot of people together through people you'd have never met if it weren't for football.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just, there's always going to be that dark side. And I just think the internet, I know it going on a rant really there, but the internet just, it's an issue for me. I'm not a fan of it. I have to be on it because of doing streaming and content, but I'm not a fan of what it allows.
The social
people
media side.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of what it allows people to do. I think the internet can be a dark place as well, I imagine.
Yeah.
It causes a lot of problems. It really does.
Speaking about Chelsea, I mean, moving on to more recent events, they played very, very well against Newcastle. Looked like they could be potentially living up to it, aren't they? You're living up to the title.
How many times have I said it? Timo Werner.
Yeah.
He's like Patrick Bamford.
Yeah.
He needs 5 or 6 chances to score a goal.
Yeah.
And I've said it several times. He scored a lot, don't get me wrong, but he scored a lot because Chelsea are creating a lot of chances for him.
Right.
He won't do it against the big teams because he won't get 4 or 5 shots on goal.
You do know he didn't score in this game, don't you?
No, he didn't. And he missed. Right. He missed 3 very good chances. But he's been on fire with goals.
Oh, of course he has, yeah.
I think he's their top goal scorer. Or he's up there.
He's going to be up there, I think.
And that's all competitions combined.
Right, yeah.
But, so, that was still prominent for me. He was still getting in brilliant positions, but still putting it wide. So that's still a worry. And if he did it in the Champions League last night as well. Giroud, luckily, finished it off for him.
Yeah.
But he did it there. So, my worry with Chelsea, right, is I think they're a top 4 side. We've said it several times. The team
top 3, I think we said 3rd, probably most likely.
I think they'll come undone against the big teams.
Yeah, well, I suppose we have to.
We're seeing them beat the easy teams now.
Yeah.
Well, we're seeing them walk over the easy teams. They're definitely a damn sight better defensively. Don't get me wrong. But there were a few moments in that game when Newcastle came forward that I thought if they had a bit more impetus, they'd score. There was a moment with Joe Linton where the goalkeeper was off the line. I think if there's a better player there, that's potentially a goal.
Yeah.
There's a moment where St. Maximin ran right through the defence and just didn't pull the trigger. Just didn't pull it quick enough. And then players got back and blocked it. And I know that's clutching at straws, but I still just think when they come up against the better sides, they're going to have problems.
They're going to come unstuck, yeah. Maybe.
They're not going to have as many chances. I still think the shining light in the team is Ziyech. I'm going to keep saying that all season because the man on the football is scary. He's got some serious passing ability. His range and his ability to just dink a ball is absolutely disgusting. I've been so impressed with him.
Yeah, well, we kind of knew that, didn't we? Because I'd seen a bit of Ajax beforehand, and I seem to remember when they beat Real Madrid in Champions League, it would stand out then.
I've seen him in that really good season when they got to the semi-finals of the Champions League against Spain.
Yeah.
I've seen him in that season, and I always thought, do you know what? He's a bit of a player, is this guy? But I didn't fully know. Like, I knew he was decent on the ball. He was good at running at defences. He was tricky, and he had an eye for goal. I didn't know he was that good of a passer of the football. No,
you just thought he was like a attacking winger sort of thing that could cut inside.
Him for me at the moment at Chelsea is the most creative player they've got. From dead balls, from free kicks, from play. Give him the ball, man. Get the ball to that needs to start. Do you know what he reminds me of, right? He reminds me of James Rodriguez. His ability to pass but then he's got unbelievable physical attributes as well. He'll
Right.
go past the man.
Yeah.
He'll go past the man. He's got a good quick turn of pace. He's got an eye for God. Honestly, at this moment for me, he's Chelsea's best signing.
Well, it
And
didn't cost something either.
I'm going to end up sticking with that. Because...
Isn't that surprising, though, that you're saying he's the most creative player, and yet they signed Kai Havertz, who was meant to be going to be that man?
No, because I'm watching German football, I don't see Kai Havertz as a creator.
What, just like a shadow striker type player, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they even played him up top by himself.
Fair enough, then. I just
Quite
had
a
him
bit
down
of
as a... Yeah, I had him down as a creative player.
Everyone sees him as a cam, and he's like this unbelievable... Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's shit at passing. But no, I never had him down as like an unbelievable playmaker. I always had him down as someone who's decent at linking up play going forward and dangerous. He's a good goal scorer. I would have looked at him to be someone who's going to be... So you look at Lampard, right? You look at Lampard. I'm not liking him fully to Lampard, but you look at Lampard, and I always remembered him as not a bad passer of the football, but what was a real strength as him was arriving in the box and scoring goals.
Scoring goals, yeah.
It was a real strength for Lampard. That was what always made Lampard and Gerrard different to me.
Yeah.
Gerrard will bang you in a goal from distance.
And ping it around left, right, and centre.
Goals, but Lampard, he's not bad at passing the football, by no stretch of the imagination. But his ability to arrive on the edge of the box and get a goal was just brilliant. And that's, Havertz is a little bit more like that to me.
Right,
he's not going to be the guy that does these unbelievable wacky passes. Whereas Ziyech we're seeing that. We're seeing him try some audacious passes, and they're coming off. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like I said, they look like they could be in a chance as long as they perform against the bigger teams. Like one such big team, I think they're yet to play is Man City, who got beat again. Guardiola signed a new contract, and they've got beat again by Spurs this time.
Well, the big thing on that one, as you just mentioned, Spurs. It's Chelsea Spurs at the weekend.
Is that what it is? Well, there
Chelsea
you go.
Spurs at the weekend. So
that is going to be. Oh yeah, of course it is.
That Man City game. They're the informed teams.
The top of the league, aren't they?
You've got to take Liverpool out of it. But the informed teams for me, after Liverpool and Tottenham and Leicester, although Leicester did lie down a little bit against Liverpool,
not half,
is Tottenham and Chelsea.
Yeah,
and this is a big game.
Massive game.
It's
going to be 0-0.
It's got to be great for. I hope not. But this has got to be great for Spurs fans, right? Because how long have you yearned to be having a top of the table clash? And you're the ones that are top of the table.
I know.
And you're going to be having a top of the table clash with Chelsea, and I'm excited for it. I mean, because you've got so much history there. So much history there. Mourinho's connection with Chelsea, London Derby. So it should be great. Well, we'll see. Lampard tends to go a bit negative against the bigger sides.
So does Mourinho.
And Mourinho just is quite calculated with it, isn't he?
Yeah.
He goes with what works. I mean, the way Spurs played against Man City is the way you need to play against Man City.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It worked.
You're not going to out-possession them. You're not going to outdo them.
Son and Kane were really, really deep, weren't they? They were defending themselves. It was crazy.
Their ability to break.
Yeah.
Their ability to break.
They've got some pacey players as well, haven't they?
Didn't they have 4 shots on target?
I'll tell you.
I'm pretty positive they did.
4 shots. 4 shots. Man City had 22.
Yeah.
It's like Leeds.
Well, that's why I like it. Man City.
Yeah, I know you've done it before. We'll get on to that later.
But how impressive is that? How impressive is that?
It is, to be fair.
I mean, it definitely gives Miles far too much of an up when it comes to Football Manager now. Cheers. Cheers, Marie. When we go, well, Bin FN, this is bollocks. He's going to go, well, do you remember Spurs and Chelsea?
Yeah.
But no, extremely impressive. And they've impressed me all season on the break. Sonny's on fire this year and Kane's on fire. You keep those two fit all season and they will be a title contender.
Yeah.
They will be.
You don't think they are now?
I feel like if Kane gets injured now,
it's all depending on keeping injury free.
Yeah, seems to get injured once a season. Kane is don't get me wrong, Sonny's massive, but Kane is a huge reason of why it worked. they got to keep people fit. They keep all their main players fit. They've got a better depth this year. Mourinho's got the players I think he needs. They'll be. I still think Liverpool win it. They'll be a title challenger this year. I genuinely think they will be. And then knowing my luck now, they'll lose 4-0 to Chelsea at weekend. But that tends to be what happens when I say that people can win the title. But
yeah,
I just can't. You can't look past Mourinho. He's a winner.
Mm.
Do you know what? And I don't like to liken him to Alex Ferguson because people would call me an idiot. But when you look at managers that just have this win at all costs mindset, because Fergie won ugly a lot, and Fergie won with squads Fergie shouldn't have won with. Mourinho reminds me of that. Mourinho has that in him, that winner's outlook, where it doesn't matter how we win it, but we win it. And what I've noticed is Pep doesn't have that. Pep wins it with the right team, with the right style of football. If he doesn't have that, Pep doesn't win it. Pep doesn't win ugly, in my eyes, where Mourinho will do that. Mourinho can go a full season and shithouse several results and win a title. I don't think Pep can do that, and I don't think Klopp can do that. So it makes it interesting for me. The closest manager I've ever seen to Fergie in that style is Mourinho.
So it's a bold shout. I'm going to say
see
if he. I know he's won a lot of titles here and everywhere, hasn't he? But we'll have to wait and see because what's he got? Has he got 3 titles? Yeah, 3 times in 3 times. Respect. So yeah, 3 times he's won it.
He's got 2 with Chelsea and 1 where. He's got 3 with Chelsea.
He's got 3 with Chelsea because did he win it when he came back as well?
Yeah.
But
so he had 2 and then 1 when he come back, and he got second with Man United, but Europa League.
That's right. Yeah, and then obviously
he's got to be one of the kings of Champions Leagues.
Possibly, yeah. I don't know if Ancelotti's won it more. I could be wrong with that. I don't know.
I think one of the bold things is he's won it with Porto.
Yeah.
He's won it with Inter.
Yeah, and he won it with Madrid. Yeah. So that's 3.
That's impressive.
It is still impressive, yeah. The one thing I would say about with Man City is that with Pep signing a new deal, do you think that has been signed with maybe Messi coming?
Who knows? I don't think it's been signed. I don't think it's been signed because of that.
No, but I'm just thinking with that there, is that an indication? Because everyone was thinking, Guardiola might be going to end the season and he might be going to Barcelona. I think we said it, one of us did. Might have been Dad, so it passed. I'm not sure, but I think it might have been one of us.
I don't think Messi re-signs still. I'm still a big believer that Messi walks. He's had enough. He's done with Barca. And the obvious fit would be Man City. So we might get a wish to get to see Messi in the Premiership. We might. Yeah. Who knows? Knowing our luck, he'll go to Paris. So, and then no one will ever see him unless they play in the Champions League. So that's great news. But no, I don't know. It was a weird one, wasn't it, that he re-signed to you? It's certainly not a bad thing. No. He's going through a purple patch. All of a sudden, he's not a bad manager. What I like to see is that he's going through a purple patch and he's clearly going to still be backed. As long as he don't get relegated, he's clearly going to still be backed. And I quite like to see that because I like to think that, I don't know if Pochettino would have, and I don't know if Mourinho would have, but if they'd have actually been backed when times went bad with Chelsea and Tottenham, who knows what they could have done in seasons to come. It's this stigma of, if you have one bad season, that's it, you're a goner. I don't like that.
Yeah, they don't stick with them long enough to there.
You know what I mean? Let them have a bad season. Let them have one. You can't always be winning. If someone's won you something, and Pep's won a hell of a lot with Man City, they've won the most, I imagine, under any manager. That he's been the manager that they've won the most. So let them have a bad season. Let him rebuild. I mean, they spend a lot of fucking cash, right? But let him have a bad season. Let him finish in Europa League. Let him finish just in the Champions League. He's earned it. Yeah. He's earned it. We have this stigma nowadays that one bad season and it undoes everything good that you did. You know, because we're talking about him now as if he isn't a great manager anymore. All of a sudden, he's not a good manager anymore. All of a sudden, he's lost it. You don't just fucking lose it.
No.
You don't just fucking lose it. But you can have bad years. Like that happens. That happens with teams all the time. Let him have a bad year. Let him have a bad year and let him still be your coach. And in 2 years' time, you'll probably be winning shit again. It's I hate
it's going to be the longest team he's going to be at.
He's lost a lot of big players.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's finding it hard to replace Axel Company, and I think Silva's a miss as well. David
Silva's
Silva.
the biggest miss. They've got no one to unlock defenses. Man City's hardest situation will always be everyone who they play against, apart from Leeds United.
Yeah.
They'll all sit deep.
Yeah.
Every team sits deep on them. And it's hard to break down a team that's got, 10 players in the box. Yeah. It's hard. So you need someone who unlocks the defense, and the problem is that was Silva, and I don't think they've got that. I'm a big fan of Bernardo Silva, and I think Bernardo Silva could potentially play in that. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as David Silva, but could play in that role. He's he can definitely play that style. He doesn't need to play out wide. But they don't have that player anymore. So, and sometimes it is adapt or die, and Pep won't adapt. So he will go down out on his shield. But I think he's in the worst league position and the worst start he's ever had at a club. And he's signing a new contract for 2 years.
That shows how much.
Tell you that no matter what happens this season, Pep's still in charge.
Yeah.
I don't know then. And I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's about time that a manager can have a poor season and you still trust in him. Because Mourinho has a bad season at Chelsea. They get rid of him halfway through the season. He has a bad season at Man United because they don't back him. They get rid of him halfway through the season because of the pressure. Mourinho is always going to be a brilliant manager. You don't lose it. You don't just lose it. And he's teaching us that every time he goes to a new club. Because, he's crap. He's not the special one anymore, blah, 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 at Chelsea. Goes to Man United, and you look at the squad he actually had, and managing finishing second and winning the Europa League. Not too fucking bad.
All people are bothered about with the points cap.
Yeah, not too bad. Because if you look at the squad they had then, it's better than what they got now. And they are in trouble. When their biggest celebration is that they beat West Brom by a phony penalty and beat Bashikshir 4-1. I nailed that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we say it. And they beat them 4-1, and all of a sudden they're back and they're a great team. That's scary. That's what gets them up at night. That's scary. That's what excites them, because Man United is not good. No. They did not look good against West Brom. That could have easily been a draw.
Yeah,
could easily have been a draw and more points dropped. So no, they're in trouble. They're someone who probably shouldn't stick with their manager. But it's nice to see. I think football is such a fickle place. It's about time that a manager can actually rebuild the team, not rebuild it when he gets there, but actually have a phase in between. And I do like to think that Liverpool would do the same with Klopp, that he'd be afforded a bad year. God, man, imagine if Klopp had a bad year and they sacked him. Motherfuckers won you the Champions League and the league. You've not won it God knows how many years.
They've got previous. Look at Rodgers. Although they didn't win the league.
They do, but they needed to get over the line with that league, didn't they?
Of course.
Because it's been so long.
Yeah.
They needed to get over the line with that league. And I think they pulled the trigger because they knew they could get Klopp.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right with that. I don't think they would have even dreamt of doing it unless he wasn't. If he wasn't available, they'd have still probably been with Rodgers. Possibly.
And Rodgers got a shit ton of stick at Liverpool, which was way undeserved, because, again, if you look at the squad that he had...
Yeah.
And actually, as a manager, I placed Rodgers quite highly up there.
I think I saw an image of their defence.
He went under Mourinho, didn't he?
Who
right?
Did?
And Rodgers.
Rodgers.
He was part of Mourinho's staff.
Oh, yeah, of course he was. Yeah.
So, this is what's interesting. You could easily argue the best two counter-attacking teams in the league are Leicester and Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean, Spurs do it with very little opportunities, and so do Leicester. So it's interesting. It's interesting seeing the two of them
having a similar
play
style,
a very similar style of football and be both very, very good and look good as well. It's not you look at counter football and you think, oh fuck me, that's boring, but they don't play it boringly the majority of the time. It's usually quite enjoyable to watch Leicester and Spurs play.
Yeah, because it helps having good players as well.
Always
that always helps.
I do. I think it's It's quite interesting that, and I place Rodgers as a really good.
I think he's one of the top 5 managers probably in the league. I think personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a fantastic manager. As we're talking about that, Bielsa got nominated
for
our friend.
Oh, you're in the top 5, yeah. Yeah, I don't know who's done the nominations, but I don't know. You weren't happy about it, were you? Do you think that Bunglahore?
Well, I didn't type up with it, but the first thing that Bunglahore says is there's better managers, and the awards for coach.
They've won more and stuff.
The awards for coach. So the award isn't for manager.
Yeah.
The award is for coach. And Bielsa's regarded so highly as a coach. Because of what he gets out of the players he's got.
How much he improves them.
We had no effing right to win the championship and win it the way we did with the squad we've got. And we don't do that with anyone else but Bielsa.
Yeah.
Our team should have not won that championship. Some people
might look at it differently.
Look at the squad we had. That team was mid-table, low mid-table at best before Bielsa rocked up. And he didn't change much.
We only got Bamford in, didn't we, really? And Barry Douglas.
And smart loans.
Oh, yeah,
Clever
Harrison,
loans.
didn't we?
You didn't know who Jack Harrison was.
No, we didn't have a clue.
Who Jack Harrison
played like 4 games for Middlesbrough or something.
You didn't know who Ben White was.
No.
You didn't know who he was.
No.
You didn't know Calvin Phillips was that good. You didn't know none of that.
No.
You didn't know none of that. So he's saying stuff like, is it that big of an achievement to win the championship? We're talking about coaching here. We're talking about someone's ability of a coach, and there is not many coaches out there that gets what he's got out of that group of players. We have near enough the exact same championship squad now in the Premiership, going toe-to-toe with the biggest teams.
And not Arsenal, the latest one.
Giving it some. You don't, honestly, it's the fact that he's a footballer, a sports personality, and that ignorant that he doesn't even realise it's for coaching ability and not being a manager and what you've won as a manager, just told me.
People argue that he's talking about us to make himself relevant, is what I've seen.
Well, yeah.
In the sense, at his Twitter.
People bite, don't they? But he's saying it live on a radio station.
Yeah.
What shocked me the most is that he says this sentence, there's better managers out there. We're not talking about managers. This is a vote for the coach. Coach. Says it in it. FIFA, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Coach.
Who was the other nominations?
I can't remember. Klopp was on there, and I think Guardiola was on there as well.
Right. Yeah, because they're class as head coach, are they? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can argue that they've improved players. I mean, Raheem Sterling's a far better player now than he was before Pep got his hands on him. Klopp, Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Milner.
Yeah.
He's resurrected careers there as well. So, it's just, it boggles me. It boggles me that he doesn't see Bielsa as he's achieved anything as a coach. For me, when I look at the award, I'm not looking at it necessarily on accolades of what you've won. I'm looking at it of what you've managed to achieve with what you've got. Because that's a huge part of it, right? That's a huge part of being a coach, is improving, polishing turds, as you could say. And we had a team full of turds, and he polished them. They
made
some
them
diamonds.
like diamonds,
They some diamonds now. And that for me is what it's about. But there may be something about being relevant, and I hope it is to do with that, because it's from my point of view as a football, and it's not even being biased. It's if he'd have said it about anyone else. I do agree that someone did put on the tweet though. He thought that Gasparini should have been involved in that, and I completely agree. I think what he's done at Atalanta is unbelievable. I really do. So there's no argument about that, but it's the same old thing. Like, people were arguing, why is Phillips in the team and not Grealish? They'll play the same position. So, I think Bielsa and him should be in it. I think they're both fantastic coaches. So, no, I agreed with that, but I just think that Bonglahor didn't make that statement. Someone in the comments did. So,
yeah,
I just think maybe it was a little bit for clicks, because when you say stuff bad about Bielsa or about Leeds, you get uproar. But, I mean, he was made to look an idiot last time he slated us.
Exactly. I'm going to say, speaking of them, They had title aspirations, didn't they, early on when they were winning the first 4 games at seasons, and Brighton had been unlucky but poor in terms of results, and they've managed to win.
A bit lucky in this.
Yeah,
it was an even game. It would have been a draw. It was
Yeah.
a very even game, but great result. You've got to dig in sometimes, and they need that. They need that ability to dig in and not be soft at the back at the key moments and score.
I'm going to say I think there were a penalty shout for Villa as well. I think in this as well.
Was, yeah.
But from what I saw. Yeah. But when it's only match that nearly gave it away, I think there was contact, but I think he got the ball at the same time, so I don't know.
It was an iffy.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. Sorry, Flicky. I thought it was a pen.
Yeah. He don't care because it didn't happen and it still won.
I felt like he still made contact with the player, and I felt like this season that's normally been given
for consistency reasons. Yeah,
usually,
you think so?
Like a season or two ago, you got the ball, no, it's a penalty. But I don't know. I feel like this season that they have been given, so it's a bit of a 50-50. But Brighton ain't gonna care, are they? Good 3 points.
No 3 points, yeah.
What we expected, and it is that they do have ability, but I think they still lack goals.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I mean,
you're really begging for particular players to be on form for you to have a good, for you to score goals.
And you know which sort of players you need to get scoring because you've been on Twitch and the network with me. Got your account on Twitch. Link up in the description. You're Brighton, aren't you? So
anything like Brighton do in real life, I might actually enjoy myself when we play that save. It's only a little bit, though.
Only a little bit, only slightly. I mean, you've got a like you're on about not hating anyone earlier, but you absolutely despise Adam Lallana on the game.
Yeah, on the game. I don't hate him in real life.
I know.
But I despise a lot of those players on the game. The entire team will be sold.
But otherwise, I mean, there's been like a couple of dull games in there. Like, I mean, Sheffield United West Ham seemed to be quite. I want to say it was quite a dull game. 1-0 West Ham. Haller scored an absolute peach and just celebrated like this.
Yeah, well, he's under a lot of flack, hasn't he? Because they paid so much money for him. But if Moisey can start getting something out of him, it'll do West Ham. West Ham are a mid-table team.
They are at the minute, yeah.
That was going to happen at the start of the season, did they? I didn't think for 1 second. I thought they'd be right down there.
Yeah, I agree. I said at the beginning.
All season now. I still think Aston Villa will ebb and flow. Sometimes they'll be good, sometimes they'll be bad. West Ham seem to be extremely consistently good in the terms of they play how they know they're going to play, how they like to play. They're going to frustrate the fuck out of you. And if you do beat them, if you do,
you've got to work hard. Yeah,
probably could be 1-0. They couldn't score, and you've got to work your ass off to break them down.
Yeah, they've been very impressive at West Ham, but Sheffield United again. Another game without scoring again, and obviously another loss. It's looking bad. I'm worried for him now. We're past the quarter way part.
I was a bit worried in that game just because they didn't look good.
Yeah,
they didn't look good, and that was a bit worrying. I just still feel like it's going to click at some point, and they'll go on a little run. The same as I do with Burnley, and I feel like Burnley might have started that now.
Yeah, I'm just going to say about Burnley. They've got a shit-house to 1-0 win against Crystal Palace.
That's what Burnley do.
Yeah.
Burnley do, and they're so good at it. They're probably one of the best at doing that. And I still feel like they're both two teams that can go on those runs. I just don't. Sheffield United just need to get that little bit of momentum. And then I think they'll start going on a run, and we'll start to see that there's quite a few teams down there that could be in trouble. But yeah, it is worrying at the moment. The longer and longer it goes on, the more worrying it is, because we're down in the bottom half, but the gap is pretty big.
Well, what is it? I think
between us
is
and the
it
bottom
we're
14.
7 points clear. I think of Fulham, who are 18th as it stands.
Yeah.
Because we only managed to draw against Arsenal because they just dug in. Obviously, I actually think in that game that the red card helped them because we like teams to come and attack us.
We're not good at teams that sit deep. I've said it.
You've said it. You've called us a B-Tech Man City.
I've said it a million times. We're not good at. We can't, and we certainly can't break teams down as well as Man City. We're not good when teams sit deep. We don't have the world's greatest creative players. We're signing more, but we don't, and we're not good. We're not good when teams sit deep. We want a game where you attack us, we'll attack you. You attack us, we'll attack you, and we'll do our damnedest at exploiting these open spaces and winning the ball back in the middle of the park and hurting you. Can't do that when teams sit that deep, and Arsenal sat extremely deep that second half, especially after they had
the road look as well. We hit the bar and post 3 times.
We hit the woodwork a few times, but I don't know about you watching the game. I didn't think we were going to score.
I think we'll still be playing now. We'll still want to score. Maybe hit bar a couple more times, but
I didn't think we were going to score. It was nice to see some of the lads back. I thought Rafinha had a pretty decent game. I thought Phillips being back is absolutely.
I'm recovering from an ACL injury like in 5 minutes because we all thought, didn't we? What's going on with Phillips?
I didn't actually realise how key he is because we didn't miss him as much in the Championship, probably because it's an easier league.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The team still looked very... I mean, look at the backstretch of the season when we didn't have him and we still looked unbelievable. We've rarely missed him in the Premiership. We've missed his defensive prowess.
2 games, mate. 2 games, 2 4-1 losses. First game back against Arsenal, arguably the hardest team of the 3.
I'm not saying that
maybe not
Leicester.
We're
better than those teams and we win against.
No, I'm not saying, but I don't think they would have won by as much.
Style of football that does not work well for us.
Yeah,
in counter-attacking, countering. They're 2 of the best at it with some of the quick players they've got. But we'd have certainly defended better. So, we might not have conceded as many goals. I still think they were teams I looked at and thought these are really difficult games. The Arsenal game, actually, I looked at and thought we stood a good chance. But after watching and raving about Arteta as well, after watching the way his team plays, they're really, really fucking boring.
Yeah.
Well, we beat Man United. 1, Man United is shit right now. 2, you got a penalty. If you didn't get a penalty, there's no way you were scoring in that game.
Exactly, yeah. And you said the only game that, I remember is on about first game at season against Fulham. That was like pretty much their only good performance.
I've said a lot of times, Arsenal are doing something that's really important for a big team. Is a winning while not playing well.
Yeah.
Now we're nearly 10 games in.
Yeah, we're beyond that, I think. 11, I think.
They're not winning.
Is it?
All the time.
Actually.
And I haven't seen them play well once.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, am I talking? It's 9, yeah.
I tell you when I've seen them play well. In the Europa League.
Yeah.
So maybe Arteta needs to start playing that squad. He needs to start playing those kids because they don't look good at all. They're not good to watch. I always liken Arsenal to a team that, even if they're not winning, they're still good to watch. They're not. They weren't good against us. They played, maybe out of being smart, but they played against us like they played against Man United. And it was surprisingly boring. Do you know what it reminds me of? Reminds me a bit of Sarri ball.
Sorry.
It's very negative.
Yeah.
Not as much with the passing, but very negative, I think.
They try to get some counter once or twice, didn't they? But Meslier pulled out a right save, to be fair, when I thought he was beaten.
Well, you signed a Bamyang, and I think he's gone missing. I think they've got posters up on milk bottles all over the shop of the team, this man, because I don't know what's happened to him. And Lacazette, I've said for ages now, is just not the player anymore. He just isn't. He just isn't the player, and you're not going to get much for him. I don't even know where he goes. We're not going to get much for him. So I think the shining light at Arsenal is they've got some extremely good youth, and the signings they've made are brilliant. Thomas Partey's fantastic.
Yeah.
The defender they signed, what's his name again now? Is it Marcel?
Gabriel.
Gabriel, that's the one.
Gabriel.
He looks very good. So the signings you've made look good. Tierney's starting to become an Arsenal player. So, they just surprised me. They surprised me at how bad they've been.
Yeah. They don't look like they're gonna be contending for Champions League to me.
They look good at the end of last season, really good
at
the end of last season. And Arteta, I feel like the squad's got better, but surprising. I was excited for the game because I thought it'd be very wide open. It wasn't. It wasn't at all.
Yeah, very surprised. Like I say, a newly promoted team against Arsenal just completely dominating. It's unheard of normally, isn't it? But again.
Well, we're a bit
it is
different
Bielsa,
as a newly promoted team.
It's Bielsa, in it? Without that,
it's not the first time we've seen that. Look at Wolves.
Yeah, well, yeah, but to be fair, when Wolves didn't really dominate everyone. What they tended to do, I seem to remember them. I think
no, but for a newly promoted side,
but they sat back in the games. I seem to remember them getting a draw against Liverpool. I think they should have won last season, first season, and they were 1-0 up for ages, and they conceded, I think, toward literally like last 2 minutes or something. But basically, they just sat back like Arsenal did. They got one goal. I think they had maybe 2 shots all game, and they ended up drawing.
No, disagree.
No, I saw it live. I remember seeing it.
No, but they didn't sit back.
I don't know if they did it all the time, but on this particular game,
about Leicester having one of the best counter-attacks in the league.
Yeah, but this wasn't a great counter-attacking football. They got lucky early on and then sat back.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They're playing against Liverpool. How many teams would do that and try and shit out a 1-0? You're against Liverpool. Look at some of the results they had. Look at last season.
But you're comparing them playing. But that's what I mean.
No, I'm not comparing their play style. I'm comparing the fact that they were a newly promoted side and finished 7th.
Oh, right. Just in terms of results.
You looked at them and thought they're going to be a bottom 3 side.
But that's what I'm saying about us. We've only done it because of Bielsa. We're still 14th.
No, but you look at us and you don't think they're going to get relegated. You looked at Wolves and didn't think they're going to get relegated.
I see.
Whereas you look at Fulham and West Brom and think, fuck me, you were down already.
Yeah, I look at a different angle.
Get yourself on Championship coach and go and enjoy it. Enjoy you won Sky Sports match every month. That's where you already imagine they're at. I don't think fans look at us like that. I know it seems biased way of saying it, but I don't think other fans look at Leeds as we're going to be relegated.
I think we're winning a lot of fans over. A lot of fans at the beginning of the season were saying we're going straight back down, but I think
you didn't look at Wolves like that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing the styles of football. They're completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, Wolves were very good in that season 1, though.
Yeah. Yeah, they were
very good with Jota and Jimenez. And
I think they took about 12 points off the big 6. I think it was big 4.
They beat Man City twice last year.
Well, yeah, I could see that as well. But again, that would have been sitting back to some degree as well. But anyway, it's getting results, isn't it?
Very expansive in the way they break forward. Leicester play like that, and look, Leicester won the league playing like that.
Yeah, true.
You know, you can play attractive counter-attacking football. We saw it in Leicester.
Yeah.
Some of those results when they won the league were unbelievable. I think there was a 3-3 with Liverpool in there early on in the season as well. Like,
I think you're right, actually. Yeah.
Key results that helped them, but they played counter-attacking football, and Wolves did. And you never looked at Wolves and thought, "Fuck me, this is a side that's going to get relegated." I think Leeds are looked at the same. I don't think people look at Leeds and think they're going to get relegated. I think people look at Leeds and think, "You play like that all season, you're going to be round and roundabouts in the mid-table stage, and you're going to be fine." And we still got players to come back.
You just touched on Fulham anyway, about a team looking at the Championship coach and getting ready to get on it. Was unlucky to lose to Everton.
I don't get Fulham, right?
Yeah.
Because I said it a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I watch Fulham and I think they're a team that have got fight.
Yeah.
And they've got a decent squad. They haven't got a bad squad.
They have now, as we mentioned. I think the transfers definitely helped at the end.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Since the transfers, they've got a decent squad. So they keep letting themselves down with these penalties.
Well, he slipped this time. But why is Mitrovic not taking him? He was definitely on the pitch this time. He actually came on. He came on to the pitch.
He wanted something on.
I couldn't believe it.
When he didn't step up for the pen, I was watching it while editing a video. And when he didn't step up for the pen, I thought, why the fuck's he not taking pens?
Well,
it was unlucky.
He's missed his last 2, hasn't he? Because he missed that one for Serbia as well.
Yeah, he did,
in qualifying penalty shootout.
Well, maybe it is that. Maybe we should give him benefit of the doubt, and it is a mentality thing. And it's not going well for him, and maybe he's thought to himself, look, If somebody else wants to take them, somebody else is confident that they want to take them, let them take them.
Yeah. But obviously,
I've not scored my last two.
Cavallero stepped up this time. I don't think Lookman will see another penalty again while he's at Fulham. Oh, wow. Parker's
I've got
there.
to be honest, when he stepped up, I thought, they're not going to score this.
I was same. I thought, really, Cavallero? Is that exactly the most prolific in front of goal? No. You know, he's an exciting wide man, but I wouldn't say he's scored most goals. I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head if he was or not. But
because you see, if Kenny was on the pitch, I would have been like, he's got to take it.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But
I don't think he was.
He didn't.
I feel like he got subbed off for Mitrovic.
I think I might be able to find out actually. But obviously Everton. But yeah, got 3 goals.
At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, and Everton looked all right. We play Everton at the weekend. I'm excited about.
Oh yeah. My birthday.
At the end of the day, no, it's Sunday, isn't it?
Saturday, isn't it?
What game was Sunday?
Am I wrong? You might be right. You might be right. I thought it was evening kick-off. I could be wrong. I'll just check it.
I thought it was Sunday, but no, I could be wrong as well, mate. Probably am.
Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday. It's 5:30 kick-off on Saturday.
But yeah, do you know what? I think Fulham are unlucky, and I think they continuously are being unlucky. And how long do you stay unlucky?
Your luck's going to change at some point, but then at the same time, you find that when you're struggling, the luck goes for the opposition all the time. Yeah, I seem to remember
they're playing so well, though. Don't get me wrong; their defense isn't backing up no trees, but when you look at them, they can score. They're expansive. Yeah. They can create They are dangerous. They don't look like a team that's easy to play against.
Yeah,
a little bit defensively naive. Don't get me wrong; they've conceded a lot, but surely at some stage it's going to click for Mitrovic, and it's just all going to come together.
Well, you called it on him. It was Kerry when you came on for.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I've just found it out now. Yeah, but yeah, they are one of those teams, like you said, that they play some really good football at the minute. Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been a revelation for him as well. He's really helped him.
Panenka has actually been brilliant. He has been brilliant for him, but just don't let him take a penalty. Well, they didn't, did they? They didn't. Their biggest letdown at the moment is Mitrovic, and surely he doesn't stay like that forever.
Well, has he scored since he scored past us?
No.
I don't think he has he? So, like you say, I mean, we always said that when you get Mitrovic scoring, and they might have a chance, that's what we said at the beginning of the season, but if he's not scoring, I mean, not many, I know they got 2 goals, but not regular goal scorers that are getting them all the time, like Dick Reed. He's like the second striker, isn't he? But
well, he's actually playing all right.
He's doing all right, but
arguably, you could say he's in form for Fulham. He scored
3.
I think that's his 4th or his 3rd this season. That's not bad.
Not bad.
That's not bad for someone you look at and think you don't score goals. I could be completely wrong. I just feel like there's a fight there for Fulham. I'm not saying that they stay up. But I feel like they're not just going to go down without a fight.
They'll take it late on, maybe last day.
I just feel like West Brom haven't got enough in the engine to pick up enough points. I feel like if Fulham get a run going, they can. I feel like they could be dangerous for teams.
The problem with West Brom is they haven't got the Callum Grant on FM.
Well, he's a cheat code, isn't he?
He's a cheat code. He scores every single game, doesn't he?
I saw. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and I can't remember who it was. And I won't name drop anyway because you should watch us and not him. But he was in the Premiership save, and Callum Grant was top goal scorer with 19 goals, like 3/4 of the season. And I just thought this
is not just us.
What West Brom fan works at Sports Interactive and goes and watches Callum Grant for Huddersfield at this stage, and then adds them to West Brom and goes, "This is the best player since sliced bread," because he's just fantastic, and he hasn't. Yeah, I still think he's a great signing, but I think unfortunately for Callum Grant is he's signed himself up to another team that's going to get relegated. I think the difference is, and I've always said that they're a massive yo-yo club. I think they'll come straight back up.
Yeah.
Or at least be in contention to come straight back up because, they haven't really spent.
Not massively.
They haven't. Callum Grant and Grady Dean Garner and Pereira, which they would.
Krivnov. I can't even say his name.
Krivnovovic, whatever it is. And so they haven't.
The disrespect, the shade thrown.
They haven't really. Well, he's not exactly lighting up the league, is he?
No, true.
They haven't really spent much, and they remind me a little bit of Norwich. a little bit, in the sense that it doesn't feel like they knew they were going to stay up.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I think it's like it is a little bit clever now from teams, because Norwich is starting to find a bit of rhythm from what I can tell in the Championship.
Yeah, I think they're top of the league.
You would like to think that if West Brom went down, they could get straight back up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out for you now.
I know they've been playing well recently, if not.
Yeah, they're top of the league. Yeah, with Bournemouth, ironically second. Watford are fifth, because we actually thought that Watford had struggled, didn't we? But I mean, to some degree, they should be doing better. They've probably got the argument the best team. Well, exactly.
And they could have some issues in January.
Potentially, yeah.
They could have some issues. They've got some big name players.
Exactly, yeah.
Players.
So
they might not stay there, but yeah, I just do liken them to that.
Yeah,
I just do, and I think I was always a believer, and I know it was hard for Norwich fans. One of our greatest mates and supporters is a Norwich fan. I know it was hard for them to watch that Premiership season, because your highlight was Man City, and that was it. You've got nothing else to really talk about in that season, but it might just have worked, because you made your money, you're debt free, you're now a very well run club.
Yeah.
And if you go back up, I think you will spend smartly.
As well.
You've kept your key. Yeah, you lost Jamal Lewis, but you've kept the majority of your really important key player. Buendia's still there. Cantwell's still there.
Gordon goes as well.
There. Everton. Yeah, it's not Gordon though.
No, what's he called? I forgot his name.
I can't remember. We do this all
Godwin.
No, it's not Godwin.
Remember. I'll check out Everton's team.
Though.
I'll check out Everton's team. There we go. I know, mate. I'm sorry, but I'll figure it out. Godfrey. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you lost 2 of like 5 or 6 stars. So you've obviously, because they were all linked, you've obviously been able to convince Cantwell, Buendia, Aarons. Look, there's a plan here. There's a plan. We're going back up. You believe in the manager already. You're going to get football all season. You're going to look like stars. You're going to get to play all season with the team where in this horrible time anyway. Do you really want to move now? Stick with us. We'll get promoted again, and we promise you that we'll invest in the team. This is going to be a big club. There's got to have been those conversations.
There's got to be a project to believe in, isn't there?
There's got to have been those conversations, because none of them kicked up a fuss.
Yeah.
Aarons is being linked with Barcelona. He didn't come out. I don't remember him, batting an eyelid. Cantwell was linked with us heavily. He never spoke about it.
No.
Buendia linked with every man and his dog. Man United heavily as well. Never spoke about it. So they've got to be doing something there to keep players happy. I liken it to Calvin Phillips. Everyone wanted Calvin Phillips. He didn't speak out about it. He just signed his new contract and said he wanted to stay at Leeds.
Said something about it afterwards, but
well, yeah, afterwards. But you know why he stayed at Leeds?
Yeah.
Well, a little bit. He's none, but he stayed at Leeds because he believed in the project and he believed he would be a Premiership player.
Yeah.
It paid off for him. I feel like those Norwich players are in the same boat. I think they believe in the project, and it looks like they are, because they're top of the Championship, which is, in my eyes, the hardest league in the world.
Yeah.
Really, to get the fuck out of that league it's
ridiculous. When they say anyone can beat anyone, they're not lying.
Oh, damn, do they mean it? Do they mean it? But I think West Brom could be similar. I could see West Brom going down, not really losing anyone, having a ready-made Championship squad that's far better than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Especially now having Callum Grant as well. I think he lights up the Championship.
Yeah.
And then coming straight back up. And then spending a bit more cash in a time period that's better. Interesting to see.
Definitely 100%. I'm just thinking like Liverpool, not Liverpool, Leicester. Obviously, they've got a project at the minute, haven't they? With we've told Brendan Rodgers, and
I don't know if they have got a project, because
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what they're trying to achieve. Don't get me wrong. I think Leicester are a brilliant side, but I don't know what their progression is.
Well, it's got to be Champions League if they finished 5th last season. Got to be.
But I'm pretty sure they'd be exactly happy with finishing 5th or 6th again.
I don't know. You've got to aim higher, haven't you? You can't just aim for the same thing over and over again. If
No, I know
natural progression, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I know realistically in your head you'd say that, but I don't think they are.
Why?
No, because but I don't think that. I don't think there's no pressure there.
Well, the pressure is replacing Vardy. That's going to be the hard thing.
No, but what I'm saying in the sense is, so Leicester finish 6th.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought for a second that Brendan Rodgers would go?
Probably not, I guess.
That
Yeah, we put it like that. But
or that people would be unhappy or in uproar.
Just thinking,
Whereas Man United finished 7th.
There's not so much pressure, isn't
there? All hell on, isn't there? It just feels like there's no pressure.
Yeah, just looking from the outside in. I suppose in a way you'd like to see him maybe try and break into that top 4. But the way they played against Liverpool,
that is the next step.
Yeah,
naturally, of course it is. But I just don't feel like that. You're not talking about it as in like you are there.
They have to.
They need to get top 4 with what they've done and what they've spent. They've got to go. It just doesn't feel like that. It still just feels like a project that's just ticking away nicely. And if they finish 6th this season, it doesn't matter because the squad's getting better and younger and better and younger. That's genuinely how it looks like. From an outsider's point of view, I don't feel like there's any pressure over 10 to just have good results like Leicester normally do. And they're going to continue. They've done that already this season, and they're going to continue to do that. Maybe have a bit of a run in Europe, Spurs Leicester final.
Hey,
that'd be nice.
When Europa League, get Champions League.
I still think that
there's no Sevilla this year, so we're Champions League, aren't they? No, they're qualified, so they can't get Europa League now.
Yeah, they can if they finish 3rd in group.
No, because they can't. They've already finished top 2. They've qualified. They put something on Twitter. They put something on Twitter saying when you qualify. Yeah, they go like, when you qualify for the Champions League, and it says when you realise you can't win a 7th Europa League.
I didn't know they were through because they drew.
They put that on their own actual account as well on Twiter. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there you go then. So everybody's safe in the.
Everyone's got a chance now.
We'll have a different owner this year.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope Inter Milan drop in it then. We might actually win it this time round.
Yeah.
And they can still drop in it. I still think.
Yeah.
I think Spurs will win it.
You've got a feeling, haven't you, about Mourinho and a cup, haven't you? So
we'll see. His European competitions. Look at the Champions Leagues he's won and the teams he's won and where, and then he's won the Europa League with Man United.
Well, he's doing well, is Mourinho. I mean,
in fact, don't quote me on this. This could be a dreadful stat. I think every time he's managed in the Europa League, he's won it.
I'm not entirely sure.
Now, with Porto, before he won the Champions League, the season before, he won the UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other time he's managed in the Europa League apart from Man United. And
has he not finished 3rd at all in the group at any stage?
Not that I remember.
Because I seem to remember someone dropping into 3rd and getting beat by someone they should have beaten easily. And I got beat.
Think he ever did that
I don't know if it were him, though.
In fact, the year he got sacked at Chelsea, they won the Champions League.
Oh, yeah, because it was Roberto Di Matteo, wasn't it?
Di Matteo, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I could be
maybe,
wrong.
You might be. Someone check it out and let us know in the comments.
I think in most recent times, every time he's managed in the Europa League, he's won it.
Right. Well, speaking of Liverpool, I don't know if they were already. I don't think they were already through, but they've just been beaten by Atalanta 2-0 in the Champions League, which is surprising. Yeah. Oh, sorry, mate. So sad. But
I want to watch that anyway. I don't watch Milan and Real Madrid.
Man City won. Do you want to know the result of that one?
Yeah, they won 2-0, didn't they?
Who?
Madrid, isn't it now?
Yeah. Who won 2-0?
Real Madrid.
Yeah, sorry. I thought because you like into dirty, so I thought I wasn't going to spoil it for you. But yeah,
Real Madrid, isn't it?
So
They're
Liverpool sure they can get beat. I don't know who the team was or who the squad was, but chances are they were going to. Oh no, they're not. No, but I'm just saying.
Quarter-finalists last season.
Yeah.
Quarter-finalists last season.
Because you rate their as you said, you were rating their manager earlier, weren't you?
The way they play, man.
Yeah.
The way they play is ridiculous. They are lighting up the Italian league. They haven't spent much.
No.
They haven't got this expansive squad. They're not one of these big Italian giants. But he keeps producing something there, man. They're a tough side to play.
Is he going to be the next big manager to leave? Has he come to the Premier League, maybe?
I'm not sure. He's getting on a bit.
Is he?
He's getting on a bit, and I think that this is a really exciting project.
Right.
If I was him, right, so let me liken it to Atalanta is Italy's Leicester.
Right.
But he's getting Champions League. Obviously, it's a little bit easier to get Champions League in Italy.
Right.
So Atalanta is like Italy's Leicester. They're that side that are outside the top that haven't always been a big team, or at least in recent times that I've known, and are now playing such a expansive kind of football. Honestly, the football he has them play. Watch the highlights of the Liverpool game. You'll probably be massively impressed. They've got some fantastic players, although they're getting on a little bit. Honestly, they're just a brilliant side. You'd love to watch them play. His system that he plays is really interesting. Papu Gomez, I think it is. I can't remember his name. He's getting on a bit. And Zapata. And honestly, they're great. We tried to replicate Atalanta's tactic last year on FM. Failed miserably. Because I did it with a...
Because you're not him.
Leeds United squad. No, I'm probably better than him. But I did it with a Leeds United squad that just got promoted to the Premiership. Definitely wasn't the right decision because I didn't even have the right players for it.
And let's mention at this point that it was quite a few years in the future as well. So it was
10.
Yeah, 10 years. So yeah, all the players that are there now.
he's exciting. He's an exciting manager. He is coach. Exciting coach.
Yeah, I'm going to say one about it earlier on. Is a coach. So yeah, I mean, another team that's been struggling. I say a team that was struggling. And you touched them earlier. Burnley finally got a win. And obviously Palace, after beating us 4-1. Yeah, fucking Palace beat us 4-1 and then lose at Burnley. It's kind of thing that you said about shithousery. And there's the finest example ever. Palace flying and they get beat by bottom at league.
Not flying.
They are Eagles, to be fair, come on. But, you know, they've been... What were they, 6th? They were 6th. I know, it was a shocking pun.
Awful.
It was a shocking pun.
You should be allowed to do that ever again.
Never again.
That was terrible.
Well, because they are.
They're Eagles.
Yeah, they are Eagles. But yeah, but like I said, did you see that result coming? Because I could only see Burnley losing every game at minute. But fair play to them.
I said, how many times when we do this pod, week in, week out, have I said Burnley will be fine? They'll come good at some point, it'll click. I've said it week in, week out.
It's
I've
one
never
game.
Said,
this is the first game. Let's see if we continue it.
It doesn't matter. I know Sean Dyche. I know that Burnley side. It was going to happen at some point. This is what they do. They always start badly. Do you want to know who
know who they've got next?
Who?
Manchester City away from home.
But you can see them beating Man City, the form they're in.
Maybe, yeah. But, you know, Man City will be a point to prove. You know, they've just got beat by Spurs. They need to pick up wins.
Man City's got a point to prove all season and keep getting undone. And they're struggling to break teams down. Burnley ain't going to be easy to break down.
No, I guess not.
But it doesn't matter whether they win the Man City game. All I'm saying is Burnley will do enough, I still believe, to not get relegated.
So, who would you say are the ones that are likely? That basically, at the minute, the bottom three are Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield United. And you said that Sheffield United, you think, will get out of it. So, what are you going to say otherwise?
I'm not saying they'll get out of it. I think they'll come good at some point.
Yeah.
The problem is when Burnley and Sheffield United start to come good, there's no telling who's going to drop out of form. Because what you got to remember, we're only 9 games in.
Yeah. Barely 8,
it's a nice
to be fair.
reflection to see teams that are going to do okay.
Yeah.
But teams can still start to drop. Teams can drop very quickly. Teams can go 6 games without a win.
Yeah.
We don't know who that's going to be yet, but that can easily happen. So I have no idea who's going to drop in there. For me, it's still way too early. There's teams I expect not to. Palace could still drop. No.
To be fair, there are a lot of teams are around like the 13, 14 mark. Like 15 even if you include Aston Villa. You know that.
Well, Villa
we say, don't we? The magic number is 40 points. In it, that's what that's generally the general consensus.
It's been lower recent numbers.
Yeah,
recent years. It's been more like 36.
But you feel like if you get to 40 points, you're sorted. That's what you feel like.
Yeah.
So, and at the minute, like for the rest of the games, from 30 games, Villa need basically 25 more points. That's 8 wins and a draw. And unless they go like a dramatic loss of form, like the other comparison I've got really is Hull City last season.
I'm not.
No.
No. Hull City's will way more drastic.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. Unless they do that, like you get to halfway stage.
Hull City could buy a win. Villa could still win another 5 games and go down.
True, yeah.
What you've got to remember?
It's early stage to say that, but
this is not saying that Villa will do that. But if you look at the way they've played so far, they've been very Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
They've been very up and down. They've been great or bad. There's not really been an in between. So any team can fall into that category who is in that top 10. I mean, Newcastle could.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but they could. Any of those teams could. So I'm not sure. No, it's way too difficult to call. If I was going to call it right now, I would say that West Brom, Fulham, and Sheffield will probably be most likely to get relegated.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that, but I think Newcastle. I think Newcastle could still at this point.
Don't know. I think I just feel like they've got enough in them. They've got too good of a team. They will pick up results.
We'll see, but
they're not going to. They're showing already this season that they're not going to pick them up week in, week out, but they will look good some games, and they have looked good when they've won. So, no, I think if I was to put money on it, the 3 that are already down there now, because I just think Burnley have got too good of a previous of getting
themselves out of it. Yeah.
They always start badly and then move. I think people have this conversation near enough every season. Was this the year that Burnley can't do it?
It used to be the same about Bournemouth, didn't it, as well? But obviously, eventually it happens, though.
No, but Burnley have been doing it a fucking lot longer than Bournemouth.
2 teams that are not looking at the bottom end of the table anyway, put it that way, is Wolves and Southampton. They played each other, didn't they? 1-1. Decent looking game. Quite even. Southampton really are impressing. Like we said, they haven't got Danny Ings at the minute, but they're still pulling out results. I mean, they were 1-0 up, weren't they?
Southampton should have won it. And there was an absolutely fantastic pass from someone who I said was very good.
Cheers, Ward-Prowse.
And he played it to Theo Walcott, and Theo Walcott did what Theo Walcott does well.
Gets it to the right position, misses it.
Should have had a sprinting career and not been a footballer. We all know that by now. It's quite fucking obvious. His ponytail got in the way, and he smashed it well wide. So
he did get the other goal, though.
He did, but in reality, that ball deserved far better because it was absolutely delicious, the pass he placed in. How he doesn't score that is beyond me. You're not going to get many opportunities that are as good as that. It was fantastic. Do you know what I liken it to? I know it wasn't as good. I liken it to you might not remember this, the Kevin De Bruyne pass against Stoke.
I vaguely remember it. Who was it to? Was it Negredo?
It might have been, but he played this absolutely ridiculous pass that you just thought, how the fuck?
Yeah.
How the fuck? And that pass slowly reminded me, the distance-wise, just of how the hell is who's Che Adams? I thought he was still at Birmingham. And he just played that pass, and I just thought, holy shit, stand up and pay attention. And then it was unfortunately, it was Walcott on the end.
Oh, so it was Che Adams that took the pass, wasn't it?
It was Che Adams who played the pass.
Oh, right. I thought you were about Ward-Prowse.
No, I've been talking and saying that Che Adams will come in for.
Yeah, you have. I missed this pass. I must have missed it because I think I had it on at the same time when we were streaming on Monday night. I've not seen that pass, but I've kept going to know.
One of the best passes you'll see.
Really?
This season.
That good. Bloody hell.
It's just how Walcott doesn't score it is what makes it worse.
Yeah. Like I say, if it had been...
I didn't watch the game, I watched highlights, and I was just like, how has he not finished that? He scored the first one, and it's just like, how has he not... I just felt bad for Che Adams, because he should be getting to celebrate the pass he's just fucking played, but... You're not allowed to celebrate a pass, are you? Unless it goes in
back in there. Like you say, it would have been one of the best assists you've ever seen, but sadly it's not even an assist. No, just good as a key pass.
You didn't even know it happened.
I didn't even know. That's how bad it was. It's not even. The thing is, things like that you normally see on Twitter or stuff like that. I've not seen any evidence whatsoever. I've not seen. You have to link us it then. Tag us in it or something.
I saw it on Twitter like 3 days ago.
All right, dig it out.
Yeah.
Like it next time. It might show up.
I think I did like it actually, but it was. need to watch it. It was fucking impressive.
Sumptuous.
Che Adams this is his time.
Yeah, well, he's having to step up, isn't he?
With the philosophy.
Yeah.
And they're flying under the radar, and Hassel-Houghton is an unbelievable manager.
Considering what happened against Leicester. Yeah, coach.
And I think people aren't fully on board with that yet, but he is. If he keeps going the way he's going, he's the next big manager.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We've seen some big managers make their names at Southampton.
Oh, yeah. Poch were probably the latest one, wasn't it?
So if he keeps doing what he's doing now, because if he has a decent season this year, right, it's not that too dissimilar to what Poch did there. You don't look at the Southampton team and it does not scream to you superstars.
No.
Don't think you'd say anyone in that team's a superstar.
No.
And they week in, week out, and they're scary to play against.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to playing against them. I think it'll be a brilliant open game of football, but I ain't fucking looking forward to playing against them because they're clinical. Well, unless Theo Walcott's on the pitch. they're not as clinical. If Theo's playing and Danny Ings is still injured and Che Adams is injured and James Ward-Prowse is injured, then I reckon we're in for a good day.
You're going to regret that when Walcott runs straight past Liam Cooper and slots it in bottom corner.
That would be my luck.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Most likely.
Be my luck. But the chances of that happening are like 1 in a billion. That if that does happen, fair play to him. It's probably the only time that's going to happen in the rest of his career.
But what's he past Liam Cooper? Because he probably won't play against Liam Cooper again. Because as a result, Liam Cooper won't play.
He'll never run past people like he. Honestly, I think he should become a fun runner.
This is a fun runner.
I've been thinking about it for a while. There might not be as much money. There might not be as much money in it, but at least he'll be successful. He might win something.
Yeah, he can run really fast at short distances, not so much long distance, which is what I associate with fun runs.
But he's an athlete. Surely he can run long distance.
Not quite. It won't be able to last as long as well, maybe it might be.
Are you saying right now on this podcast that you know how long Theo Walcott lasts?
In what sense?
Yeah, you said it. You said it.
I'm just comparing to like Mo Farah.
Questions.
Mo Farah is he's like the pinnacle of fitness.
When was the last time you saw Mo Farah do a fun run?
He did a fun run.
The man's running in the Olympics and running marathons and shit, and you're thinking that he's doing a fun run. I don't
know. That's what I equate it to. That's like the pinnacle of fun runs is doing like a marathon.
Fun runs what you do at school, and they give you a trophy.
I'm not being funny, but there's nothing fun about just running.
I enjoyed it at school. I enjoyed cross country and everything. So, I was quick though. That's why I enjoyed it. I think you enjoyed it more if you're good at running. Yeah. If you're not good at running, you hate it. But because I was quite good at running when I was younger, although the school didn't know I was, it was great. So when I was younger, no one knew I was good at running. I played football and I played a little bit of rugby, but not a lot. I only played when I could be bothered because the rugby team wasn't serious at school. It was like the infancy of rugby league. So the school system of rugby league wasn't big.
Yeah.
So being in Yorkshire rugby league was big. Bradford Bulls was big.
Yeah.
But like the school system wasn't big at that stage. So I only played every now and again. And so no one really knew that I was quick because I was being played at right back for the school team. And then sports day came around. And in PE, they went, right, we're going to do a run for sports day. And I won. Everyone was like, I didn't know you could run that. What the fuck? The PE teacher came and sat me down and spoke to me after. And she was like, have you always ran? And I was like, nah, pretty much first time. I didn't know I was quick. I thought I was going to get beaten. I didn't really care. I thought I would have preferred that we were playing football, to be honest with you. And she was like, we're going to do another. So we did another race, 200 meters. And I won that. And then we did a 400 meters. And I lost. But I lost to the fastest kid in the school.
Yeah.
And then ever since that, they joined the athletics team. And I did running
against your will.
Not athletics team weren't as attractive, was it, as football team? But to be honest with you, there's a lot of good. Like I said, Tom Cleverley played at my school.
Right.
There was some really good football players, and I didn't stand much of a chance. I've got to be honest with you. My ability at football was I was quick down the wing. I wasn't cracking on the ball. I could cross a ball, but I couldn't cut inside. I could cross the ball with my right foot. I was one-footed.
Yeah.
I was one-footed. So I could cross the ball with my right. I could not cut in for shit. So that was. I mean, were you all right at footy at school?
Sounds like me, that really, because I've got another.
Really
I've got another sports day sort of story to tell, but basically, no. Basically, what happened was there was fastest lad at school and me in the same form, right? And he was going to do like the 100 meters, 200 meters, and I think I was going to do 400, 800 or something like that, and the relay. And the week before, he got caught fucking smoking weed. So he got suspended. I had to do all the fucking running. I had to do all the fucking running. So 100.
The sport thing is weird though, because we were only allowed to do. We were allowed to do one person from your form could do the 100, one person from your form could do the 200. So I did 200 in the relay, but I weren't allowed to do 200, 400, and 800.
No, I think it was purely because this happened and no one else could run in my form. Who were male.
The school at a time that was different.
Yeah, I went back in 50s, mate. But basically. But basically, what happened was there were nine forms, and I came fifth in everything. Basically, I even did javelin on a separate day, and I came fifth.
No harm in being fit.
So it's middle of the road, just boring, average. But I should have come fourth in the 800, but because I was fucked, I was absolutely knackered. That's why one guy, when I knew I was miles faster than, he ended up beating me because I was just knackered. I was just like jogging over the line. It was a little bit.
You didn't have the same kind of sports day story as me. It was a glorified
No,
day.
Exactly. It was year 11. It was just.
You want to look good in front of the entire school, and who doesn't want to look good in front of the entire school and have all your form cheer? Go on, Matt. I was like, yeah.
That fucking.
With all of you. I'm coming over the line.
Chariots of fire. Chariots of fire.
I'm leaning forward and shit as if I'm a proper runner.
Yeah.
There's no one near me, but I'm still stretching for the photo finish. That was me every time.
Oh man, I've got another story. That was the last one. The first one, I slipped on start doing 100 meters, so I came last.
I never did 100. Because we learned when I was doing the running that I had my engine was better once it got going.
Yeah.
So I was a slow starter. I think it was one of the things when I did athletics that they trained so harshly was the start, because I was terrible at starting. Once I got going, boom, I was quick, really quick.
Acceleration 2, pace
going,
20.
Difficult. I mean, that's carried on to my later life.
Yeah.
Hello, lady. But getting going was like, I was a slow starter. Once I got into my rhythm, I pounded forward. I was really good.
That's definitely.
You mentioned
pounded forward.
You mentioned doing other stuff like javelin and shit.
Yeah.
I did one year. I think it was year 9, and I was coming off success in year 8. I was coming off a great successful year in year 8. And year 9, you know what I mean? We were all starting to develop a bit more.
Yeah.
You know, you wanted to look good.
Yeah.
It was a big year for me in my head. GCSE years. This was a big year. Girls were starting to get more and more attractive to me. It was important that I did well in the races, because the races were the big thing. No one fucking watched the small events. The races were the important part. And a bit
like now when you watch Olympics.
they had me do the triple jump.
Right.
That's not what I'm good at. Twisted my knee, couldn't run the fucking race.
Oh, you're joking.
I had to sit out year 9. I hated it. My PE teacher and assistant form tutor was called Mr. Batty. I know. He got a lot of stick at school. Because Ali G was like big at this stage. So he got the last name Batty, like he didn't stand a chance. But he put me forward for it because he decided who did like the short form ones. And he went, you should do the triple jump because you I was lanky.
Yeah.
I was lanky, so he was like, you should do the triple jump. I was like, yeah, whatever. Is what it is.
Whatever,
I didn't really understand triple jump, hop, step, jump bullshit. Didn't get it. I'm pretty sure my jump would have been not given anyway because I did it illegally, definitely. And it, twisted my fucking leg. I had to miss it, so I had to sit because you had an ice cream van there and everything. It was an awesome day. I had to sit with everyone while they cheered on some other fucking slum while he did the run we lost. And I remember just sitting there, be like, if I were running.
Yeah, I'd have pissed this.
I'd have won. I'd won the year before though. So I think I come second. We won the relay and I come second in the 200 the year before, the first year I ran. But yeah, I'm devastated.
But in terms of football, mate, I can only say that I was basically a very short version of John O'Shea. Played everywhere, mainly full back, right and left back. But I'm not.
I mean, one of the selling points for John O'Shea was his height.
Yeah, utility player. Me, I could play anywhere. I played everywhere apart from in goal. Even centre back, and I'm 5'6".
See, I always just played down the right. I played right back in primary school. I didn't want to play right back in primary school. When you get a teacher, you're naturally in a position, but you get a teacher that thinks he's the next fucking top thing in the coaching world.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to turn you into a right back. So I don't want to play right back. I've never played right back. I've played right wing. I've always played right wing.
Well, I started right wing when I was about 18, and I phased back.
Run quick, get to byline, cross the ball in. Yeah. That was my job. Every team I played when I was a kid, run quick, get the byline, cross the ball in. So primary school, I thought, this is going to be great. Quick, cross the byline, going to look good, get a ball in. I'm going to make you into a right back. And he used to make me stay back because I always had this urge, just especially when you're a kid, to charge forward.
But it's like shit. I don't know if you've ever watched like kids, like with you being a dad and that. I watched my nephew. Awful. My nephew, right? I remember it was like sheep.
Just all chase the ball. All chase the ball. But yeah, he thought it was the next thing since sliced bread, and it was awful. And then as soon as I left primary school and went to upper school, I was back at right wing. Unfortunately for me, I was in the B team to start. I never made the A team. I was in the B team, and the players were just too good. Yeah. The players were just too. It was just I loved football, but literally most of my upbringing on football was street. We had a back. Yeah. Well, we called it the back. It's just a big for all you Southerners.
Cul-de-sac.
It's just a big chunk of tarmac that we play football on. We had that was supposed to be car parking, but because it was private to the houses, all the neighborhood kids played football on there.
Yeah.
We bought some nets. We used to use them on there, and we used to play footy every day, all day, kicking it against fences, like just kicking it back and forth. That was football for us, and that's how I learned. So when I got to school, there were a lot of players that had come through like playing a lot, and I played right back in my entirety of primary school, and I hated it. So I just didn't. I got picked, but I didn't really get a look in. Football kind of died. It's a shame, but it died for me really quickly in upper school. I wish I'd have found somewhere to play football while still in primary school, but I didn't. I just thought playing with my mates on the back was good.
I was similar. I didn't start playing till I was 11 properly in a proper team.
Yeah, I think
left it till late. I think
my first time in a proper team was primary school.
When you say primary school, what's that the age up to? Because I class that my primary school is year 6. Year 6, which is 10, 11. 12. Well, it was 10, 11, 11, 12 for me, which I've got like...
It'd have been 11, 12
6, 7 years on it, when I so
it was up to year 6. And the more serious end of the football was like year 5 and year 6.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't, and then I only played for a season, and I had 2 seasons off, and then I joined another team at like 14, 15, and that's when I started playing right back, really there, because basically there were no one else to cover that position 1 week. I covered it, did a good job, and then that's how I would know this. I was playing it right back, and it's like I didn't get a chance anywhere else, you see, because they saw me as a good fit for right back. So I was good at right back because I was fast. So if I was a bit like Kyle, like a shit version of Kyle Walker. Basically, if I had enough pace to get back, if I made a mistake,
See, I wasn't great defensively.
I was better defensively than I was going forward. I think I was good at tackling.
My ability was better going forward because of my pace. Yeah. I could. If you put the ball through into open space for me, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore. I might be gone, stood at the fucking side, throwing up in dustbin. But back in day, like you pass the ball out on the wing into some space, and that was it. I was really quick. I was definitely the quickest kid in primary school, and I was one of the fastest kids in upper school, and that's why it always helped me in rugby league.
I do really
on the wing. I was really good at going past people, but we're definitely going off topic now.
Yeah,
I think we should round up.
Round it up.
Story time is over.
Well, hopefully you've enjoyed that.
We can carry on the stories next week.
Yeah, or join us in one of the streams. But yeah, let's know your thoughts on everything we've discussed.
Let us know how you got on Sports Day, and if you were better than me, I bet you won.
Have you got Sports Day stories? Let us know in the comments. And obviously, don't forget to like as well as subscribe as well. Hit that notification bell as well to keep up to date when we release them as well. So, and obviously as well, nearly forgot the socials. They'll be on the screen as well at this point.
What are you going to say as well?
I know, I noticed that.
Can we have an as well counter, please?
I'll try and remember to put one in.
I want an as well counter. How many times
do a little
say it as well?
Ping! Every time.
Yeah, but, counting.
Yeah. But I've been Tenacious G. He's been Yorkie Man. He hasn't got his cup on screen for some reason. Let's get some credit music as well, Matt. Go on. No, just me.
No, you was instantly going to do Loki Doki then, weren't you?
What? No,
No.
That's the one I was doing. Yeah, that's
I'm not going to do that one.
No, what were you going to do then? Copyright.
Raw. Oh, that's that saying, innit? Bye, guys.
So there.